Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about biodiesel. The agenda in this presentation is I want to teach you guys the background of biodiesel, how it is produced, the development status, the impact on the carbon footprint, the impact on our economy, the communication efforts, my analysis, and my recommendations and plan of biodiesel. So let's start off with the background. Biodiesel is a renewable energy that comes from vegetable oils, animal fats, and used cooking oil. It was founded in the late 1800s, but became popular in the 1990s to 2000s to have cleaner air and less pollution. Now let's switch over to how it is produced. It first comes from a vegetable or animal fat, which we can indicate that is photosynthesis. Then we harvest the vegetable, filter out the clean oil from the vegetable, mix the oil with methanol and catalyst, which makes biodiesel and glycerin. Then we separate the biodiesel from the glycerin. And finally, then we wash the biodiesel and dry it, and that will produce diesel for the diesel engines. Now let's switch over to development status. Today, biodiesel is a commercial fuel that is used around the world in cars, trucks, farm equipment, and buses. You can find it at all or almost all gas stations. The impact that biodiesel has on the carbon footprint is it actually lowers the carbon footprint, which means that plants absorb the CO2 from the air. Then we go through the cycle and produce biodiesel, which when the bus, car, or farm equipment burns the biodiesel, that will release CO2 back into the air for the plant to reabsorb it. So it's an ongoing cycle. Now let's talk about the impact that biodiesel has on the economy. Biodiesel actually has a really positive impact on the economy, with producing more jobs, using waste products like cooking oil, supports farmers, and lessens oil imports. Now let's talk about the communication efforts of biodiesel. Biodiesel is mostly promoted in posters, ads, online efforts to promote cleaner air for the environment. It is also taught in schools for students, younger generations, to have a better understanding on how we can better our environment just by using a different type of diesel. And I'm going to go over again the online efforts that it can be used nowadays because social media plays a huge part in our lives with TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So if influencers promote biodiesel and using biodiesel more often, then the followers are more lenient to go use biodiesel and live a cleaner lifestyle. Now, my analysis. Biodiesel is a great biofuel that lessens pollution and can be made over and over again. Don't get me wrong, biodiesel has its challenges with the fact that it lowers greenhouse gas emissions and can have problems in very cold temperatures. But in my opinion, I believe that biodiesel's pros outweighs its cons, with making more jobs helps farmers and especially having cleaner air. So my recommendations to improve biodiesel, not really improve it, but make more knowledge of it around the world, is that we should invest more money into the research of biodiesel so we can have more ways to make biodiesel, learn more ways to make biodiesel. Then I would also recommend that we build more plants that makes biodiesel around the world so there's more options for people to buy biodiesel. And then one huge thing that I think we should change is having more areas for people to just like recyclable bins for plastic and everything like that. We should have the same thing for leftover cooking oil, grease, and everything like that in certain areas so plants can go pick up that oil to produce more biodiesel for the economy. That goes back into my plans of action. I think one, we should invest money into research that will lead into making more plants for biodiesel. And that will lead into the plants developing these areas for people to donate their leftover oil or used grease to make more biodiesel. Now, these are all my sites that I used for this presentation. And I want to thank y'all for listening to me and all the information that I offered y'all. You guys have a great day.